What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. It is time once again for another collection update, man, but not what you're expecting. As you guys know, past couple of weeks I've been doing sort of bit by bit updates on my collection. I did one for PS4, one that I did not expect whatsoever, Nintendo Switch. I actually got a collection video after just owning the system for a month. And when I did both those videos, I realized that they kind of negated me putting out a proper NGS pickups because, you know, all the video games that I picked up in the months of 2017, they were going to be part of one epic NGS pickups videos along with Blu-rays and stuff, but I kind of screwed myself over in that respect. So here we are. It is a brand new year. I'm going to subscribe to the whole new year, new me nonsense, even though it is nonsense. I'm going to do a much better job with the pickups videos this year. I'm going to try to get it out monthly, even if it's just one or two things that I managed to grab. I do want to get on here and talk to you guys about them. So without further ado, let's go over the pickups. Since I said this is for the month of January, things are kind of light considering, well, I can't even say not a lot of things come out because this month, I mean, just this past weekend, man, you saw all the games that dropped. So I've got 4 video games and 2 Blu-ray steelbooks. You know, I gotta keep feeding that addiction. So you might as well just start off in the order that I pick things up. The first acquisition for the new year, 2018, is actually a movie from last year. It's one of my favorite films of the year, and I did not expect to enjoy this movie as much as I did. I'm of course talking about It. This is the recent adaptation of the classic Stephen King novel. And I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. I know a lot of people were looking forward to this movie. I know a lot of people were fans of the original. I had no interest whatsoever. I mean, I'd seen the trailers for this. I thought it looked cool for what it was, but let's be real now. Hollywood does not have a good track record with all these remakes of classic horror movies, but what really intrigues me about It was that it seemed like it was going more towards the horror aspect, because if I'm being real with y'all, I wasn't a big fan of the original movie. I thought it was cheesy and corny, and that was when I was 10 years old. You'd think that seeing Tim Curry dressed up as a clown killer would be something that'll keep you up at night, but to me it was just like, okay, whatever. And I had never read the original novel, so I'm just like, yeah, I don't really care. But boy, I'm glad I had that mindset when I went into this, because I fucking loved the movie. It is so good. It's everything I ever could have wanted, not just out of a movie about a killer clown, but just in general for a modern horror flick, man. All these horror movies nowadays are filled with nothing but jump scares and cliche tropes and this and that. This movie has those sort of things, but it doesn't bog it down and rely on it for the entire experience. The biggest strength for it, in my personal opinion, was the characters. The cast was great. This is like the best child ensemble that I've ever seen on screen. Like, these guys all do a very good job. And the thing I love most about it, this sort of sounded like a review here, is that the kids act like kids of this generation. You know, they're not all, how do I say this? They're not all altruistic and they're trying to be goody-goody two-shoes and stuff. Nah, these kids go through shit that kids go through, and they respond in kind. Like, kids nowadays, they got some potty mouths, man, and yeah, it shows that for what it is. So I really enjoyed this. I cannot wait for the sequel, but more specifically, I can't wait to pop this thing open and watch the special features, man, because that's the one thing I love about being a movie buff, is the special features, the behind the scenes on how they make the movie. And in some cases, I enjoy them more than the actual movie. I still remember when I picked up Iron Man on Blu-ray and how they had like hours of behind the scenes documentaries about how they made the movie, about the Iron Man character. It was just so interesting, and it really sucks that nowadays movies don't really have that sort of thing. Because that's what I love to do on a Sunday evening, is just pop open Blu-ray special features and watch it. Like, I'm still working through the Lord of the Rings extended edition Blu-ray set. Still trying to get through all the special features, because there's just a metric crap ton. But yeah, this thing right here, cannot wait to open it, and I can't wait for the sequel. Next up, we have one of my favorite movies of 2017. 2017 had a lot of great movies, so get used to me saying that for future episodes of NGS Pickups. This one right here really needs no introduction. It is so funny how alike history that this movie is. We got Blade Runner 2049, and it's just a shame because, again, like It, I really wasn't the biggest fan of the movie that preceded this, or was in the same series of this. The original Blade Runner I thought was cool, but to me, it was just like one of those movies that people hype up saying is groundbreaking and blah, blah, blah for its time. I really wasn't feeling it. I still like it for what it was, but this thing right here was just, this was incredible. Like, this movie was 3 hours long, and I was hooked in my seat for all of 3 hours. And I went big for this, man. I saw this in IMAX. It was just simply breathtaking, man. Ryan Gosling is like one of the greatest actors in the industry who really doesn't flaunt his shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the best actors we see these days are always so, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just so in your face about everything. But Ryan Gosling is always just in the back being low key and doing his thing, man. That's why I love him, Denzel Washington, those sort of guys. And it was a great movie, man. Like, not only is this a great sequel to Blade Runner, it defied the odds. It actually came out with a sequel 30 years later that is just as good as the original. But it's just a great sci-fi flick in general, which is something I think the modern Hollywood scope is missing. Most sci-fi movies these days try to like blend so many different genres together that they feel really just ugh. But this thing right here is, at its core, a good sci-fi flick, great dialogue, great characters, and yeah, it's just a shame that this thing, for the most part, bombed at the box office. I mean, I guess it is like history with the original, so I think as time goes on, this is going to be appreciated a lot more. Thankfully, it is, as far as the response go, people definitely do seem to love this, as opposed to the original where they were mixed on it when it came out, but yeah. Blade Runner 2049. And for those wondering why I didn't pick up the 4K variants of both of these movies, to be honest, I just didn't care. I got a couple of 4K Blu-rays, but if I'm being real with y'all, since I don't have a 4K player or a 4K TV yet, things might change in the next year, I'm just gonna stick to standard Blu-rays because there's really like not that much of a big to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I need to get this. Like, from DVD to Blu-ray, I was there day one with Blu-ray. I'm like, yes, let's get this popping. But from regular Blu-ray to 4K, as sacrilegious as that might sound, for me, I'm good with my 1080p setup for right now. You know, things might change in the future. I might have that revelation. Okay, so now let's get into some video games. One that you guys already know about. We have Digimon Story CyberSleuth Hacker's Memory. I actually did a whole entire first impressions video on this, which is why I'm kind of trying to rush it out there. But yeah, I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's Digimon Story CyberSleuth at its core. Some people might think this is more of like an expanded downloadable content add-on, and I'd be inclined to agree with you guys. But still, it's fun. You get enjoyment out of this, especially if you liked the first game, but I could totally understand why people want to wait for this one to drop down in price. Especially considering all the games that came out this month and are on the horizon. Yeah, this one sort of just got pushed by the wayside. It came out a week before Dragon Ball and Monster Hunter World. I still find people commenting saying they didn't even know this existed, so yeah, Bandai Namco, what did you do, fam? Let's get on to 3 acquisitions, and these are going to be my first Switch purchases for the year. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I picked up a couple of games here, and I'm actually really excited to play all of them. So let's talk about the first one right here. This is the police. God, I should have worded that better. But yeah, this game right here, this is really interesting because I went into it without really knowing anything about it. I saw it on sale on Amazon for 18 bucks, and for whatever reason, I thought this game would become rare somewhere down the road. I thought it was just like a pricing mix-up, or they were just trying to liquidate stock because they aren't going to supply it anymore. So I was like, okay, I need to pick this up. I really enjoyed the last game from this developer, Papers, Please. I played that a ton on PC. So if this is anything like that, I think I'm going to get a lot of enjoyment out of it. However, from what I heard, this is kind of all over the place. It's a very mixed, depressing bag. And by depressing, they mean in the sense that, yeah, it's a story about corruption and crime and all the BS that comes with being a police officer, I guess. So yeah, I can't wait to try this out. If you guys have played this on Switch or PS4 or PC, let me know down in the comment section what I'm going to get into. And then we have 2 acquisitions right here from Best Buy. Currently, if you're watching this video as of the time of the recording, Best Buy is having a sale on certain select Nintendo Switch games. Both these right here I got for under $25, and I am happy with these purchases because they're games that I've wanted to check out for the longest. First up right here, we have Rayman Legends Definitive Edition. I think this is the definitive edition because they released the definitive edition on like PS4 and all the other consoles. But this is the Switch version of it, so wouldn't they have to change the title? I don't know. But yeah, I really did love Rayman Origins. I thought that game was great. It was a breath of fresh air in the platformer genre. And I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this. This was a game that I almost was going to buy a Wii U for because, you know, back in 2013, we were all on the Wii U hype train because they had that God tier direct. And then you heard this was coming out. It's like, yo, man, I need it in my life. But I skipped it, and I've seen it on PS4 a couple of times. I saw it on sale for like $7-8 bucks, but to be honest, man, the thing I love most about the Nintendo Switch, and you'll understand why when I show you the next game, is that it's getting me to buy games that I normally wouldn't get on the PS4. I'm just being real with y'all. If it came down to playing something like The Last of Us Remastered, or Shadow of the Colossus Remake, or any of all these other HD ports or whatever, I'd much rather play those before I touch something like Rayman Legends. But the Nintendo Switch, I don't have to sacrifice that. I could play my, AAA quality games on PS4 and then play this wherever I want to. And I got this for only $15 at Best Buy. If you have Gamer Club Unlocked, it comes down to about $5 cheaper than the regular $20. So couldn't pass that up. I've heard this is just like one of the very best platformers of the generation. Some people say this is like better than most Nintendo games. So yeah, cannot wait to try that out. And the last game right here, again, along with Rayman Legends, it's something that I could have played on PS4 or practically any other system it released on, but I just didn't have the time. I keep it 100% real with y'all. Certain games I just don't want to play on certain platforms. I'm like, nah, I want to play something else. And that game right here is Binding of Isaac. This is the Afterbirth Plus edition. Here's the thing. I got it free on PlayStation Plus many years back, and I thought that this would be my time where I'd finally play Binding of Isaac. I probably put collectively 62 seconds into that game, and I never touched it since, because it's a PlayStation Plus game, it's a free game. I don't want to spend much time playing a free game when I have games that I paid for, you know what I'm saying? So this was on Nintendo Switch. I was going to pick this up, but I thought that like $40 was pretty steep for a really old game. This dropped down in price to $23.99. That's when I said, okay, I'm finally going to pick this up. And it's a release by Nicholas, so they have like a bunch of cool quirks if you bought the physical edition. It has like bonus stickers, and I saw some people said it has like I think a color manual or something. But yeah, again, it's a game that I heard a lot of good things about, and it seems like this is really the game that's going to start off the trend, or it started the trend for Nintendo realizing that these sort of games matter on their systems. I'm talking about the mature indie games like this, Super Meat Boy, the things that are very risque by Nintendo standards. I love how they're promoting these sort of games. And it shows with the sales of these games. I'm sure both this and Super Meat Boy have been performing phenomenally well on the system. So yeah, this sort of game, it's going to kind of be my first foray into this sort of title. I mean, I used to play these sort of games when I was a kid, but I haven't really played them since. And I heard another really good one is Enter the Gungeon. Everyone said I should have picked that up instead of Binding of Isaac. But hey, man, everything in moderation. Well, not even everything in moderation. Give everything time. That's what I'll say. But yeah, these were the pickups for the month of January. Pretty sizable thing. Out of all of these things, I think I'm going to be playing the Switch games more, considering, Digimon is a long-ass Japanese RPG. So maybe one of these is going to become a game to beat for Backlog Brigade February edition. We'll see. Anyways, from me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.